Good morning, everyone. This is JDB's Morning Cap. Today is Monday, June 8th, 2026. So we are ready to put ourselves together. Tonight, we got a lot to get to here today because we have Game 3 of the NBA Finals between the Spurs at the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. This place will be rocking. I'll preview that game a little bit later on in this segment of this show. So I know how much I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to get ourselves ready here. All right, let's recap Game 2 of the NBA Finals last Friday from Frostbake Center in San Antonio, Texas. Game 2 was a thriller. The Spurs were up as many as 12 points in the first half. The Knicks took control of the next 2.5 quarters. In the second quarter score was 31-18 Knicks. Third quarter score was 28-23 Knicks. Before the Knicks were up as many as 14 points. The Spurs made a gigantic fourth quarter run. Victor Wembanyama scored 29 points overall. De'Aaron Fox had a better game as well. He had 20 points, 8 for 12 from the field, 2 for 2 from downtown. He makes some huge shots, but so let's take what happened in the final minutes in the fourth quarter. Oh, okay, so Dylan Harper makes a 2-point shot with 1:25 to go. Spurs trailing by 102 to 101. Actually, it was a goaltending against Karl-Anthony Towns. They reviewed it. It was upheld. And then ensuing Knicks possession, Mikal Bridges with a poor pass, and Harper grabs the steal, gives it to Wembanyama, and he makes a 2-point layup, and Towns fouled him. 103 to 102 Spurs with the lead. Victor Wembanyama able to make a 3-point play to make this a 2-point advantage in favor of the Spurs, 104 to 102. And then with 39, and then ensuing Knicks possession, Jalen Brunson hits a game-tying fadeaway jump shot with 104 apiece with 39 seconds left. After the Spurs timeout, Victor Wembanyama looking for a go-ahead 2-point jump shot, does not go. Anunoby gets the rebound. The Knicks called a timeout. Ensuing Knicks possession, Jalen Brunson looking for a go-ahead pull-up jump shot off the mark. Wembanyama grabs the rebound. Looked like the Spurs are ready to call a timeout. Instead, Victor Wembanyama throws it. Victor Wembanyama actually turned it over when Castle does not see it. The ball was hit by Castle, and Jalen Brunson somehow grabs the steal, and Victor Wembanyama fouls him on the floor. They didn't have a foul to give. So it was 2 shots for Jalen Brunson. So here's the first free throw. Jalen Brunson makes the first. And then the second free throw does not go. Cornette grabs the rebound. Then Spurs use the last timeout. And then last opportunity with 7 seconds left to play in the final regulation with the Spurs trailing by 1. Wembanyama looking for the win. No good. And the Knicks hold on. And the Knicks hold off the Spurs in Game 2, 105 to 104. And the Knicks takes the first 2 games of this NBA Finals. Oh, by the way, the Knicks have now won 13 consecutive playoff games in a row. So, here's my question right now. Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges had 20 points each. Karl-Anthony Towns led the way with 21 points. Who do you think who's the NBA Finals MVP through the first 2 games in this series? Who's been the most effective player through the first 2 games? It's Karl-Anthony Towns. Right now, currently Towns is your NBA Finals MVP at the moment. Karl Anthony Towns has been productive in this series. Not just offensively, defensively. I'm impressed with Karl Anthony Towns. Mikal Bridges had a better game. Despite the win, Josh Hart did not score anything. He scored no points because of his foul trouble. He had 5 fouls on Friday night. But it's been the role players who contributed. It's now about Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's having a little bit of rigged series as far as field goals. He on Friday night, Brunson was 7 for 25 from the field. So he hasn't shot the ball well through the first 2 games of this NBA Finals. But he's contributed in different ways. It has to do against a Spurs elite defense. The defense has been great against Jalen Brunson, and somehow the Knicks have won the first 2 games because the Knicks defense just been better as far as close games. The Knicks, like I said, the Knicks haven't played a lot of close games in this playoffs. They have played close games through the first 2 games. Knicks won by 10 on Friday night. On Wednesday night in Game 1. They won on Wednesday night in Game 1, 105-95, and then Friday night 105-104. It was a greedy basketball game. To watch. And the Knicks, they shot 42% from the field. The good news is they shot 40% from downtown. So they shot the 3-point better like they did in their previous game. So I could applaud that. And the Knicks only turned over 12 times. So they did so far, the ball security for the Knicks the first 2 games, which is pretty good. They only commit just 20 turnovers through the first 2 games, which is not that bad. The Knicks have struggled. The Spurs have struggled to take care of the basketball on Friday night. They have 16 turnovers. So the Knicks, the reason why they won by 1, Mike Brown was not happy with the fourth quarter. The Knicks got outscored by the Spurs by 8, 29-21, and they still won. And the Knicks still won by 1. And that one big point was a free throw by Brunson. That actually helped the Knicks to go 2-0. If it wasn't for Wemby's turnover, we'll get to that in a minute. If it wasn't for that, Knicks would have not won the game. Meanwhile, for the San Antonio Spurs, a disappointing Game 2 loss. Despite they came back, despite the effort, despite the late game heroics from Whitby Allen and Fox. Right now, Stephon Castle has been a big disappointment to me. The reason why he did not turn it around, he didn't expect that pass from Wembanyama in the final seconds in the fourth quarter. Should the Spurs call a timeout when the game was tied after the Brunson's miss? What if the Spurs would have called a timeout? They would have gone ahead. They should have called a timeout. Mitch Johnson should have called a timeout. He said that, and then Mitch Johnson said, "Next time if there's a rebound, I have this. It's my either it's my responsibility or the player's responsibility to call a timeout." Mostly the players' is responsibility to call a timeout if you decided to advance the ball. The players have to call a timeout. Maybe the coaches, sometimes they can call a timeout when it hits the low volume of seconds in the game. In a close game like this, you got to have the situation rectify, excuse me. The consistency. Spurs are 3-6 in clutch games this postseason. 0-2 in this finals. So now when I look in the big picture, how the Spurs can learn from this. We'll get to that or later on this show, but we got to see how this is. This is how this is done. Victor Wembanyama tonight. Tonight is more important than Wednesday. It cannot be down 3-0. Spurs cannot be down 3-0 tonight. They're down the series 2-0. That's the problem. You can't go through the same issues time and time again. You talk about the San Antonio Spurs and all that stuff. You just cannot do that, man. You just can't. You can't. All right. So what's coming up next on JDB's morning cap here? So we're gonna talk about college football, my top 25 rankings, predictions. It's not revealed yet. It's not revealed till probably end of July, something like that. And then I'll talk game 3. I'll preview game 3 between the Spurs at the Knicks. It starts tonight in Madison Square Garden. This place will be rocking. Does Tom Brady respect the LFG? We'll have to figure it out what's going on with Tom Brady. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to JDB's Morning Cap. College football starts in 2 months. College football season starts in 2 months. Right now, we're going to pick the odds to win the college football national championship. So here's the favorite. The favorite is Ohio State, number 1. Number 2 is Georgia. Is the favorite. Number 3. How about this? Alabama is number 3. Oregon, number 4. And then number 5, we got Texas. And then Texas is number 5, favorite to win the national championship. Indiana, number 6. So there's your top 6 favorites to win the national championship. Ohio State is the clear favorite. Georgia is to follow. So we just been talking about the college football. Is all things considered. So there's no one else you can knock him out. So if that's the case, then you don't have to go through the same issues time and time again. So before I do my top 25 preseason ranking predictions, who do you think who's gonna take this one? Who do you think who's gonna win the national championship? I like Ohio State. Ohio State is gonna win the national championship. Their expectations is really high. You got Ryan Day as your head coach of Ohio State. You got Jillian saying he could be the Heisman Trophy front runner in 2026-27 season. Because you had several Big Ten contenders who tried to get into the college football playoff. So you got Oregon, you got Indiana, defending national champions, with Kurt Signetti as the head coach of Indiana Hoosiers. And now you got Michigan. So this is going to be interesting. So I'm going to talk Michigan a little bit later on this. on this show. So, Kyle Whittingham is the new Michigan head coach. He came from University of Utah. So, that's that. All right, let's take a look at my top 25 preseason rankings predictions. So let's get started. All right, so my number one is Ohio State. Ohio State should be number one because the quarterback, this is a talented roster. This is a talented championship roster for Ohio State. Their defense is going to be solid. They got pretty good wide receiver. I believe Jeremiah Smith is still in there. I'm not sure about that, but this is a championship juggernaut team for Ohio State. Number two is Georgia. I think Georgia expect to be better. I picked Georgia's number two because Garner Stockton expect to be a Heisman Trophy conversation this season. I think Georgia's offense is going to be better this year. And their defense is going to be strong. We all know that. If Georgia's defense gets healthy, this team is a championship juggernaut with Kirby Smart as your head coach. And number three is Texas. I picked Texas number three. I think Arch Manning will have a bounce back season. I think he deserves to win a Heisman Trophy winner this year. Steve Sarkisian, this is an important season for Texas to turn this program around and get this to championship form this year. This is a talented roster as well. Texas is the guy who can make it happen there. Number four is Oregon Ducks. Oregon, I think Oregon's really good. Despite they have a quarterback situation with Dante Moore and Dylan Raiola, he just transferred from Nebraska. I think Dante Moore will get more reps than Raiola. Raiola will stay with Oregon next year to get more opportunities to start. So Oregon's not quite there yet. I love Dan Lanning as head coach, but I don't see Oregon to win a championship just yet. Number five is Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama already drafted Ty Simpson. I think defense is going to be fine, but the biggest issue right now is like I said, it's their quarterback. Losing Ty Simpson to the Rams is tough. Right now we have Austin Mack and Kalon Russell is your quarterback competition. And Jet Thomala is also part of that Alabama quarterback roster. So Austin Mack, sophomore, Kalon Russell, freshman. They're both red shirts, by the way. So, but I do know Kalen DeBoer, though. I think Alabama expect to be more physical. Alabama's number five. I choose Alabama number five because I think Alabama has everything to go their way. I think the running game is going to be solid. The offensive line is going to be much better. Their defense is going to be great. But the quarterback play is not going to be the same, but they're going to find ways to win. So there's going to be competition in Alabama. We all know that. Number six is LSU. Lane Kiffin is your new LSU head coach. LSU, I think they're going to have a big season for them. I think LSU's offense is better. We all know that. LSU, it's been a tough couple of years for LSU stars passing away. Kyron Lacey passed away in 2025. It was ahead of the draft. And early this year, it was early a few months ago, Devontae Lee passed away in 2026 is this year. He lost a battle with a bone cancer. He couldn't make it. So we have two talented wide receivers for LSU passing away. It's been a tough couple of years for LSU. And Lacey passed away with he committed a suicide in Houston. So it's really, really, really tough. It's tough to get through it. But Lane Kiffin is your head coach. And Garrett Nussmeier has drafted to the Chiefs. Sam Levitt from Arizona State transferred, is now with LSU. I think Sam is going to be special for LSU this year. But I think LSU's defense is going to be really good. LSU's defense is just getting better year by year. Even the defense hasn't been good over the years, but LSU's defense expect to be better. They expect to prove to be a contender for the, not just for the SEC, for the college football playoff, if that's going to be the case. Number 7, defending national champions, the Indiana Hoosiers. No Fernando Mendoza because he's drafted to the Las Vegas Raiders as a number 1 overall pick this year's draft. But who recruited? Who transferred? Josh Hoover takes over for Indiana. I think Josh Hoover expect to be well-rounded guy, but I love Josh Hoover. His strengths, his legs, and his distributing receivers. But his weakness is though he has some turnover issues. So I think Josh Hoover has to improve his turnover his ball security accuracy. So hopefully that's going to be the case. Number 8 is Miami Hurricanes. Miami, Florida Hurricanes is my number 8. Miami Hurricanes were oh so close to win the title last year. Lost a heartbreaker against Indiana. But they did add Darian Mensah from Duke because Carson Beck was drafted to the Arizona Cardinals this year. So Darian expect to be a Heisman Trophy dark horse this year, if that's going to be the case. So I think Miami Hurricanes expect to compete for the ACC. Miami is favored to win the ACC this year, so and get into the college football playoff. Return back to the college football playoff. So let's see how they can do that in 2026-27 season. And then you got number 10, Texas A&M. Last year, first round exit, lost to. Oh, wait. Number 9 is Michigan. I skipped the rank. Michigan's number 9. Number 9 is Michigan. Number 9 is Michigan. Michigan, Kyle Whittingham is the new Wolverines head coach. It's been a tumultuous offseason for Michigan. Sharon Moore was fired, and he got charged for an inappropriate relationship with the Michigan women. Michigan has been going through some serious accusations over the last 3 years. Jim Harbaugh was suspended for a sign-stealing incident. Sherrod Moore was suspended for the same situation. And then Sherrod Moore got fired for the inappropriate relationship with the women, Michigan staff women. Just really, it's been crisis after crisis after crisis after scandal after scandal after scandal. It has been a rough 3 years. It's been a rough stretch for Michigan, even though Michigan won the title a few years back in 2023-24 season. In the last couple of years, it's been a disaster for Sherrod Moore's team. Michigan, yeah, I think Michigan this year you expect to be better. Bryce Underwood is the quarterback for Michigan. Hopefully he'll be better this year at its own moments right now. Then you got number 10, Texas A&M. Texas A&M with Reed as your quarterback of Texas A&M. This is a good sign for Texas. They had a first round exit last year against Miami Hurricanes. But it really does see that Texas A&M could perform at a high level. I want to see it happen here. Number 11 is Oklahoma Sooners. Last year, 10-2. They finished 10-3 last year. They came up short in the first round college football playoff against Alabama. Oklahoma's defense was outstanding last year. Brent Venables is a defensive-minded coach. Oklahoma Sooners defense was fantastic. John Mateer was not great at times last year, but he was clutch down the stretch in games, and they found ways to win. I chose Oklahoma number 11. I think Oklahoma's team will be better if they can sneak out some wins. If they can beat Texas, if they can beat LSU, if they can beat Alabama, they can beat some teams that can get to the college football playoff this year, if that's going to be the case here. And then number 12, you got Clemson. You got Clemson as your number 12 rank. Clemson has been a disappointing season last year. I think this year will be better with Dabo Swinney. I think Clemson's team will improve to try to get back to the ACC championship game, if that's going to be the case. So we have to see how that is going to go here in this one here. Number 13 is Tennessee Volunteers. I think Tennessee is the team. They could compete for the rest of the ACC teams, if that's going to be the case right now. Then you got number 14, Ole Miss. Trinod Chambliss. Expect to be even better this year for Ole Miss. He was solid last year. He was solid in the college football playoff. He could be even better this year. I think Ole Miss, surprisingly, Ole Miss made a deep playoff run last year. Even Lane Kiffin left for the LSU job. It's been a tumultuous season last year, losing Lane Kiffin to LSU head coach. But LSU almost got to the national championship. They lost to Miami Hurricanes in a Foro Fiesta Bowl in the semifinals last year. I think Chambliss will be even better this year for Ole Miss, if that's going to be the case for them. And then Tulane is my number 15 team, 15 rank. I think Tulane expectations is high. They made the playoffs last year, lost to Ole Miss last season in the first round. In fact, Tulane lost to Ole Miss twice last year, one in the regular season and one in the playoffs. But I think Tulane is even better this year. The expectations is actually much higher than they expected a year before. And because of that, then that will be this one. Number 16 is South Carolina. I think KJ Sellers will be better this year. Last year he was up and down. He had some turnover issues. I think South Carolina will try to fight for the conference, SEC, try to surprise everybody because of that. And then number 17 is Texas Tech. Brennan Sorsby is now eligible to play this year, despite the injunction. He granted the injunction and he won the lawsuit because of a gambling situation. So, according to the rule book, since you won the lawsuit, Brennan Sorsby will miss the first 2 games of the season. So it's understandable because you have to sit out the first 2 games because of the policy. So it has been a tumultuous season for Texas Tech. They got to the college football playoff last year. Ended up losing in the quarterfinals to Oregon in the Orange Bowl last year. But I think Texas Tech is going to be even stronger this year because this Big 12 teams hasn't been the big story this past couple of years. So we have to see that that's going to hand out. Number 18 is Missouri. I think Missouri is just too up and excuse me. I think Missouri is just too up and down because I think this is what's got to happen right now. In this team right there, you're just gonna have some consistency because of that. Number 19 is SMU. Mustangs. I think the offense is still gonna be good. Their defense has got to be better. Last year, they were one of the worst defenses in the conference last year. They just got to be better defensively this year. Number 20 is Virginia Cavaliers. Come off a really turnaround season for Virginia, but they came up short of the ACC championship game to Duke in overtime. Virginia would have been in the CFP. But I think Virginia is heading the right direction this year. I think Virginia Cavaliers football is heading the right direction. So will they grow from there? Their quarterback, I think they got some talent over there. Number 21 is Illinois. I think Illinois expect to compete for the Big Ten. They got to compete with Iowa, Nebraska, Ohio State, Michigan. The list goes on and on. And then Oregon, USC. The list goes on and on. And we'll see how that pans out. Number 22 is USC Trojans. Lincoln Riley, I believe this is his fourth season as head coach. This is his fifth season. Actually, this is his fifth season as USC head coach. So, I think this is what happened right now. Is to put themselves in a golden opportunity to work with. I think the quarterback situation is not that bad in USC. Number 23, UNLV, stands for University of Las Vegas. So, Dan Mullen, his second season last year it was great. Last year, they could be even better this year. So if that's going to be the case, and it's more than a different story. Number 24 is BYU. I picked BYU number 24. I think BYU is a low leverage football team because I think BYU has been great over the last couple of years. And somehow they had to win some big games. They had to win some big games. BYU should have been in the college football playoffs the last couple of years, but now with BYU out of the college football playoff the last couple of years, they got to be in the college football playoff this year if they want it to get off to a good start. And that's going to be the case. And at number 25, this is a coin flip. James Madison, what a story last year. Playoff bound last year. Forget about getting blown out by Oregon in the first round, but James Madison, it's been a turnaround program. They've gone from FCS to FBS to a college from bowl eligibility and to their first college football playoff appearance in their program history. Last year was historical. It was a historical year last year for James Madison. Getting to the college football playoff is pretty darn special. So who's left out of the top 25? Notre Dame. I might get all this wrong. I think Notre Dame should rank higher. I should have picked Notre Dame because I understand their quarterback. I like their head coach, Marcus Freeman. But the reason why I didn't choose Notre Dame as your top 25 because I think special teams was a problem last year. I didn't pick Notre Dame. I'm sorry. Because I did not choose Notre Dame because I think special teams is going to be even worse. I think special teams is going to be even worse because of that. So it's going to be interesting. Next couple of months, see how that turns out a little bit. All right, coming up next, I'll preview Game 3 of the NBA Finals between the Knicks and The Spurs live from New York City, MSG. And also going to talk about do you respect Tom Brady's do you respect Tom Brady the LFG moment? We'll have to find out after this. Tonight, Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The series shifts to New York City in Madison Square Garden. First NBA Finals home game since 1999 for the Knicks. Oh, by the way, that's the Knicks' first home game since May 22nd. That's the last time that the Knicks were home. Was May 22nd, 2026. It was Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals that the Knicks beat the Cavs. So that's the first home game since May 22nd, if I'm correct. No, first home game since May 21st. First home game since May 21st. May 21st was the Thursday. May 21st, it was Game 2. Knicks and the Cavs. That was the last time the Knicks were home. It was May 21st. So, I got it all wrong. So, Spurs and Knicks plays tonight at 8:30 Eastern right here on ABC. Game 3 of the NBA Finals. With the Knicks up 2-0. Let's start with the New York Knicks. How the Knicks can maintain this series. Jalen Brunson has got to be better. We all know that. I think Jalen Brunson will be better at home in this series. On the road, he's been up and down. But at home, he's been really good. So, I think Jalen Brunson will score more points at home because of that. So, this is Game 3. This is important how important this one is. But with Knicks being up 2-0, how important this Game 3 is. If they can win tonight, they can be on the verge of winning in Game 4 on Wednesday night back at the Garden. So, if that's going to be the case. So, we'll see how that goes here. Because of that, they put themselves in a situation. So, they'll prove it. Then you got Josh Hart. Hopefully he'll be better tonight. If Karl Towns plays well enough, he could be your NBA Finals MVP and not Jalen Brunson. Because that he's been effective in this series. And because of that, they can put themselves in a better situation. And they could be even better because when it comes out, you already saw that every way. And if that's the case, it's not even a problem at all. You can see it my way. It's just because they could win or lose. Maybe the situation would have gone back in it. So we'll see that pans out here tonight in Game 3 in front of their home fans. Meanwhile, for the Spurs, what Spurs need to do in Game 3 on the road? They've been pretty good on the road in the playoffs. So I think the Spurs will show more energy on the road. What they did in the fourth quarter last Friday, even though they lost at home, they could do certain things on the road. They seem moving the ball better on the road. The Spurs only lost 3 road games in this playoffs, so they're actually better on the road than at home in the playoffs. So Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox all have to show up. All have to show up here tonight if they want to keep this series. If they want to battle, they got to battle here. They got to battle these next couple of games. Otherwise, you're going to get swept. Tonight is so important for the Spurs than the Knicks. If the Spurs could somehow can gain confidence between tonight and Wednesday, then this series is going to be interesting. The Knicks are sitting on a 13 postseason game winning streak. You can't let the Knicks keep outworking you. So this is important to you to get all these points off of it, and that's the case. So who do I like to win Game 3? You know what? I'm going to go with San Antonio winning Game 3 tonight. I think this is important, Game 3 tonight for San Antonio. To make sure they can't be down 3 games tonight and not being positioned to put the Knicks to win to clinch the championship on Wednesday night. So Spurs have to win this game tonight to ensure that there's not they're not facing elimination on Wednesday night if they lose tonight. So we'll see how it's going to go out here. All right. This is a strange segment, by the way. I want to talk about Tom Brady. About Tom Brady's respect. Here's my question. Do I respect Tom Brady's LFG moment? Do I respect that? I respect that celebration from Tom Brady's LFG. It's about his passion. It's about his legacy. LFG stands for. Let me prefer myself. It's about love, family, and gratitude. FLG stands for love, family, and gratitude. Love, family, gratitude. So, for Tom Brady's love, when he loves the game, he loves to win football games. He loves to score touchdowns. He loves to throw touchdowns. He loves to distribute it. That's what Tom Brady does. He respects the love who gives. He loves to win football games and he loves to win championships. That's what at his best is to win championships. To win a Super Bowl, to win 7 Super Bowls, and one of those in a different franchise, 6 with the Patriots and 1 with the Buccaneers. I have to respect him, man. Because of that. And family for Tom Brady. Not only he's got family inside, he's got family outside as well. You know, Tom Brady, he loves the team's family. To give an opportunity. He's now a color commentator on NFL Fox with Kevin Burkhardt. This is his 3rd season with him this year. He loves to analyze these games. And for the family, for Tom Brady, he believes that this team will show a lot of cohesiveness in this one. It's about gains trustworthy. Family is about gains trustworthy for Tom Brady. It's about gainful relationship. It's about gainful championship relationship. And gratitude. The Tom Brady's gratitude is about he 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 want he wants to play harder. He has played a lot harder than anybody else. And it's about his gratitude. He gratitudes. He gratitudinizes. He plays the game. He gratitudinizes. He analyzes the game on Fox. Even though Tom Brady has called he's been called a lot of Cowboys games since he became a full time lead broadcaster with on Fox with Kevin Burkhardt. He's been called a lot of Cowboys games, including in the playoffs. We all know that. There's no disrespect for that. I think Tom Brady is the biggest GOAT in the NFL because he's won more Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes has won 3. Mahomes needs to win 5 more Super Bowls to become the best GOAT in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes needs to win 5 more Super Bowls to surpass him. If that's going to be the case. So I do respect Tom Brady's LFG. Thanks to that. All right, let's close it out on JDB's Morning Cap. What's coming up tomorrow is JDB's Morning Cap. I will recap Game 3 of the NBA Finals between the Spurs and the Knicks. Let's see who won tonight's game. So we'll get to that a little bit later. Also coming up tomorrow, I'll do some more NFL stuff as it develops. So we'll see how this is going to go here in this one here. All right, before I sign off here, I did not get to mention what's going to happen here. We do have sad news to share with Stacey King. His full name was Ronald Stacey King. He's a 3-time NBA champion, former Bulls player, and the Bulls' longtime TV color analyst has died yesterday. Stacey King unexpectedly passed away. So Stacey King actually fell. He fell on the ground at his home before his passing. It's called autopsy. A head autopsy. But the cause of death is the rest will be later for this one. Stacey King was drafted Stacey King was a 6th overall pick in the 1989 NBA draft with the Chicago Bulls when he won 3 championships. He had three different numbers, 34, 21, and 33. There's your 3 jersey numbers. He played 2 positions, power forward and center. He spent 11 total seasons in the NBA. So We're going to send our condolences to the entire King family. And Stacey King will be missed. And that's going to do it. JDB's Morning Cap will continue tomorrow, and have a good rest of your day.